Now I gotta pull up all the screens, make sure I did it right.
Yeah. And all the questions. Hello. Give everybody a moment to
Where's
go
mine?
live. Why isn't yours?
Why isn't my computer coming
There
on
it
now?
goes. There we go. Rolling.
Make sure your sound's off on your computer.
It's already off. Oh, I don't want me up. We'll give a few minutes for everybody to
Alright.
come. Why is that? There we go.
Those are your...
We're gonna pull up our
Alright.
computers, our laptops for comments so we can follow along while we go through some questions. Boy, I look tired.
Not supposed to just sit there and like check yourself out in the mirror.
Dang.
All right, let's see here. In the mirror, in the black mirror.
Someone please share it into the chat group as well.
I got all the kids.
Hello,
stuff
hello,
open.
hello. We're not pros at this, as you can see. So
I just ran around getting every single kid ready to go on to a Zoom meeting with their class, which also all started at 11 today. So we picked a great day.
So YouTube is about accurate for what we're seeing on YouTube. That's usually,
Oh, for the...
yeah. So you might want to scoot
This
over this
size.
way.
I have to sit closer now?
I know, right?
Okay. And then I don't have Facebook pulled up yet. I
Can't find
just
it.
got through all of the...
There we go. There's Facebook. Expand it. I feel like the comments are easier to follow on Facebook.
I'm going to pull this for it. I don't know if this is going to be in the way.
No, I don't think you can see that. All right. Look at us. So we can go through and say hi to everybody now. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Sherry and Aaron and Alexis and Jen and Madeline and Kristen some more.
Oh my God, the picture
And
looks
Rick. And why is this frozen? There we go.
Okay, there's YouTube.
All right, I think we're live.
Hey, we're only 2 minutes in. Half the time we don't even get started until 5 after.
That's right. It's not bad.
We're early.
Hey, 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 hey.
All right.
Sarah's sharing into the chat group.
Oh.
Hello, Shayna. Hope I'm saying it right. All right, we'll stop looking at our computers the whole time, right? All right, so we'll give a second here for this to percolate, everybody to join. We can start introducing ourselves.
I'm on the wrong page, that's why.
If you don't know us, my name is Doug. This is Martha.
I just typed your name, Jed, instead of the Facebook page.
And we'll be doing a comedy skit today. So I hope you're ready for some laughing. It's crickets. Crickets. Hello, is this thing on?
Okay,
All right.
that only took me like a year.
All right, are you ready? See, it's paused though. Okay. Let's start this this party. So this is Rue Brunch to celebrate Kanga Care birthday. We're turning 13 this year. Lucky 13. And before we get into all the fun questions that you guys submit, thanks so much for doing that. Julie's gonna pull them up. We're gonna give a little background about us, but first just a pulse for everybody. Thanks for being a part of our community. Thanks for being a part of the Kanga Care family and welcoming others in and sharing the love, because all of you make what is. That
Kanga Care.
That was pretty articulate, right?
It's early.
It is early. A yawn is a silent scream for coffee.
Did somebody say that, or did you just say
It
that?
says it on my cup.
Oh my goodness.
So, so thank you first and foremost. Second, I hope you're doing well. It's been trying and interesting times for everybody globally, for all families. We're learning and adapting on the fly as we go. We've got 5 kids, as many of you are aware, and if you're not, we have 5 kids. They are all surprisingly quiet during school. We have 2 of them that are actually in Google Classrooms right now while we're live, so that was a fun little run around to get them going before starting. And then we've got 2 older ones that are in high school and middle school that are very self-driven, which is great.
They do really well.
Yeah, and then our 6-year-old Lily, which I'm sure you'll see here sooner than later, is also doing some some learning as well. So I know for all of you out there as well, it's been an interesting time. It's been a learning time.
Yeah.
And
huge learning curve.
Taking it as you go. So stay positive, stay strong. I've seen a lot of outreach in the chat group, which is awesome to see. People lifting each other up, supporting each other, which was awesome, just to keep each other on track, lots going on. So without further ado, my name's Chad Ekstrom.
I'm Julie.
We are the owners and founders of Kanga Care. So we figured we'd start off today by giving kind of our story.
Autumn's over there.
And Autumn, if you turn on Facebook, you can watch it live too. That's fun. You just have to turn your sound down because there'll be a delay and it's distracting.
We'll get feedback.
Yeah. So we'll explain the story. And so for you that have been here for a long time, you've kind of heard it and know it, and you might pick out some little gems or not. And then for you that are newer to the Kanga Care crew, welcome Autumn. Autumn is the reason this all started. So that's a good segue. Thank you very much, Autumn. Autumn is the reason this all started. So I'll let Julie kick it off. She's a better storyteller than I am in all true fashions of being a guy. I tell
I'm just more accurate.
2 sentence stories, and Julie can take 4 hours for the same story. So get a coffee, get a bruisey roozy, a boozy roozy, whatever, and we'll let Julie take it away. I'm gonna read some comments while you're doing it. So Julie's gonna kick it off with just the story of Kanga Care. How did this all come about, Julie?
Well, yeah, we should. Oh my God.
My microphone.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
We're not doing that.
Okay.
So yeah, Autumn, who maybe should come over here and poke her little head in.
Yeah.
Come here.
Say hi.
Autumn's actually going to be 14. So when Autumn was born, very quickly we realized that she was allergic to the disposable diapers. It took us a little while. It developed, pretty quickly. There was a rash that we couldn't get to go away. I know many of you guys have actually gone through the same predicament that we did. Rashes that wouldn't go away. I don't know if maybe you guys went to the pediatrician. Ours told us that it could be impetigo, it could be a staph infection, some really scary things to, be told about your newborn. So finally, I actually had a friend recommend or ask if we had considered cloth diapers. And I was like, nope. Why would we do that? Because who does that anymore? And so we really reached the point where that became the last solution. And so at the time on eBay, you could still buy people's used, you could bid on full lots of used diapers. There was no Facebook. There was not even really a community on MySpace yet. So I bought a bunch of diapers, a whole bunch of different brands off of eBay, and started using those. And I found some that fit well, that were the ugliest thing I'd ever seen. I found some that were super cute.
Ooh,
and
pause.
Couldn't.
By definition, what is the ugliest thing you've ever seen? I'm sure everybody out there in viewer land would like to know.
It was a fully fleece diaper. It was massive, and it was, even though it was like sized correctly, it was the right size for her, but it was fully fleeced and it was maroon, like a brown maroon, and it had been used. So it was like 3 years used, brown maroon, big, huge
Thing?
like 3 layers of fleece thick thing.
Okay.
It was awful.
Okay, unpause, continue, sorry.
So a whole bunch of different brands. There was a few in there that I liked, and then I tried to go and get some more like that. But then I found as she was growing and, getting chubbier and longer, those didn't work those didn't work anymore. So then I had to kind of re-experiment and find some new ones. So over the course of a few months and just getting really frustrated with never being able to have something consistent, I was looking at the materials, and I know how to sew. And so I was like, I'm just going to make her some diapers and see if I can get something that, we're not constantly battling with every day. And that was really how the very first rumperoos came around. The inner gussets were the very first thing that I put into my pattern, because the biggest problem that we had was every diaper she wore, every time she pooped, just like disposables, it was shooting out the legs and up the back.
Poop explosions.
Check and a lot of them. I feel like you got more than I
Can
did.
I stop and tell a story?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's back up for a quick second. When Madison was a baby, normal thing. We didn't know about the world of cloth, the blessing of cloth. So, which means you also get, I feel like my shirt's falling down here. I'm showing too much cleavage right now. Which means you also get the world of blowouts. And I remember first time parent and Madison had a blowout. It was a bad one.
Is this the one when we were at my dad's house? When it was his still house?
Oddly
we
enough,
there?
I don't recall where we were. I just recall what
one
I did.
Very vivid one
which
in my mind.
if any of you have heard me at any sort of the cloth 101s that we do at the expos or in our offices, I tell this story kind of a lot. I did what I assume any father would do.
Sneeze.
Or just myself. I took the baby, held the baby Madison as far away as I could because she was like dripping with poop at this point.
This was when we were at my dad's house. This is the same one I remember.
And I gave Madison to Julie, and I was like, "Take the baby, clean the baby," so I could go get myself all cleaned off because I was full of the poop too.
But he picked her up, and like you could see it at the back of her pants. It was all the way up level with like the back of her pants. It had started like dripping out the back and running down and was like on his lap. And
for all of you OGs in our family here, the old school people, you have been able to tell a lot of newcomers and stuff too, like some of the huge benefits. And one of those huge benefits happens to be keeping the poop inside of the diaper, thanks to the inner gussets, as Julie was explaining. So yeah, that's kind of one of the many but amazing benefits of cloth diapering is keeping all that stuff where it belongs, which is
keeping it
inside the diaper.
Yep, keeping poo in its place.
That's right. Mm-hmm. All right, back to you.
So that was.
I like to just interject.
Yeah, the inner gussets were the very first thing I put into my pattern to solve the issue of we just were sick and tired of dealing with the poop, and which I think one of my favorite questions or my favorite responses when we come across a parent who is either curious about cloth or might be researching or might have absolutely no interest in doing it whatsoever, and I ask them, what's your biggest hang up? What is, what's holding you back? And they always say the poop, and I'm like, oh gosh, we are like gladly cloth diapering even if we didn't have to for health reasons, because you reduce the amount of poop you have to touch, feel, wash, and deal with. Because you're only washing the diapers, you're not washing everything else. So, inner gussets, first thing that went into the pattern. I was only making them for autumn. I had, some other friends that were also having babies around the same time, and a couple of them were like, is that what you're doing with the cloth diapering? Like, I didn't picture them to look like that, and after I start showing them, they're like, I will totally cloth diaper if you make me a whole bunch of diapers. So my first few customers were my immediate friend group, made some diapers. Chad's got more cousins than I think I've ever met out of anybody. And they all started having babies. And so pretty soon we've got, his cousins and family, they all, were curious and wanted some. So I made some of them diapers way back in the beginning. Still tons of family, and now they have the luxury of just buying and shipping the same day. When I was making them, it would take...
Wait. Buying and shipping the same day? Let's talk about how crazy that is.
Well, go for it. I don't know where you're going with this.
Oh. So kind of to stop to I think you're getting there, but when we started making the diapers, so Julie would take...
Oh, yeah.
So diaper swappers was a thing that is no longer around, right?
Yeah, it started on Diaper Swappers. No, Diaper Swappers is not around. That is where all this started.
But Diaper Swappers is where we kind of launched Kanga Care. So we're really lucky that was something back in the day. It was kind of a market for stay-at-home moms to buy and sell trade cloth diapers. And so when we first launched it off, and Julie's like, hey, well, we were to the point where a young couple, we had 2 kiddos. Julie was staying home with both of them because we already made the mathematical decisioning that it makes no sense for you to go to work because we're just paying more in daycare than if you just stayed home.
It was like $15 was what we would end up with. $15-$30
After
paying daycare and
So, and I was to the point where I was like, hey, listen, we gotta I'm gonna deliver some pizzas or something. Uber wasn't a thing back then for all you young pups out there. Uber Eats wasn't either. Cell phones basically were new.
So we're not.
It's like mess with my kids, you know? But yeah, so Naj says hi.
Hi, Naj.
And so did Amanda
It's
and others. So this is Lily, by the way. She's our youngest. But so yeah, we were like figuring out how we're gonna make ends meet with all of this. And Julie was making some of the diapers and whatnot. And that's when you're like, well, I could sell some of these on diaper swappers. And we're like, okay, cool. And when it launched off, the first time you set up the actual page and everything.
Yeah, one of the girls that I had made diapers for, she was already on diaper swappers. And she was like, she'd taken some pictures and shown some of, the community on diaper swappers. And she was like, you need to get on diaper swappers because everybody loves the diapers and they have like tons of questions and I think people would buy from you. So I set up a diaper swappers account and, she sent me like the link to the thread she had created. And right there off that thread, I think I got like my first like 24 or 30 orders and was kind of like scratching them down on paper. And I, got all excited and I went to Joann's and I bought a whole bunch of fabric and I think I spent like $100 and came home and it was huge for us at the time. I had this whole pile of fabric and I think Chad came home was like, what are you gonna do with all of that fabric?
Now's not the time to craft.
I was like, I'm gonna make it into diapers for people. I'm gonna choke by Lily. Here, sit up. And so I tried to figure out, my background is graphic design.
See, now people are old school when they call out the Oogie fabric.
Yeah, that is super old school.
That is, Cassie.
My degree is in graphic design. Graphic design, web design, that's, also primarily why, at Kanga Care, that is what I oversee is, diaper designs, web design, all of that kind of stuff.
More than that though, product design, packaging design, soup to nuts. We have the pleasure of having
anything printed, created, yeah. We'll go to that later.
Right.
So I built a website. I think that we took like a day and sat down and kind of hammered out a name. I'm surprised that wasn't on the questions.
By we, you really mean you, because I don't recall
so we're gonna
hammering anything out.
Okay, we're gonna pause really quick, and I just realized that's a question that we get sometimes that actually wasn't on the sheet.
Explain the names.
So I'm gonna give it to you.
Thank you.
Where did
we, the royal we, the mouse in her pocket we.
Yeah. Where did the name Rumparoos and Kanga Care come from? And actually, Kanga Care came second because the Rumparoos were around for about a year, maybe 9 months before we decided this is making enough money that we need to actually file with the Secretary of State, make a company.
Legitimize the business.
Yeah, before we get in trouble. So when I was making the diapers, and I was like, okay, people want to buy these, and I'm gonna put together a website and put pictures of my fabric swatches so they can order them. But what am I gonna call them? Because at that time, I was basically the only diapers that were on the market were Fuzzy Buns, Happy Heinies, and Bum Genius. That was it. And even Bum Genius was brand spanking new. Fuzzy Buns has been out a few years. Happy Heinies was shortly behind them. And Cotton Babies had been a store, but they'd only launched the Bum Genius 6 months maybe before us. So we already knew, that the diapers that I was making were a pocket diaper, and they go on the butt. And so, another word for the butt is the rump. And kangaroos have a pocket in front for the baby to go into. So that's how I came up with Rumparoos, because it's a pocket that goes on the butt. So that's the story of the diaper name. And then later on, when we started, getting into we're gonna need to make a formal name for the company, that's where Kanga Care came into play, because kangaroo care is, the skin to skin, especially with newborns. It really helps the babies thrive. I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with that. So, and I've had people ask before, does Kanga Care have anything to do with kangaroo care? And yes, that was kind of the basis for that. Also tying in kind of the name in the rumperoos with the pocket and whatnot.
Then you got all clever and stuff.
I know. I was actually trying to think about, so we had the prints, the pink plaid and the brown plaid, girl, boy, Jack and Jill. Jack is a male kangaroo, Jill is a female kangaroo.
Yep.
Then we have the little Joey, the baby kangaroo. But I think that was kind of...
Oh, and the Roo Pocket.
Oh yeah, Roo Pocket.
They don't even, well, some of you might know about that, but that's probably even a smaller fraction of the really foundational customers and fans to...
Anybody know what the Roo Pocket was? I saw a couple people mentioning Ookie fabric, so maybe.
Yep. Najee
Nope,
says
it's
Thomas.
not.
Butt Pocket, no, she's referring back to the rumperoos. I was thinking we could have called it something else like this.
Oh man, we have some Roo Pockets at the office too, but...
Anybody know what the Roo Pocket is? Delayed, so you have to kind of give it a second. Anybody know what the Roo Pocket was? It's a product that was...
It came, I started making at the same time as I started making the diapers for autumn.
Yep,
it's not a diaper product.
Got some people coming through baby wearing thing, baby pouch,
Cassie.
baby carrier, baby slingy thing. Yep.
Yeah, it was a sling carrier, kind of like the shoot, I can't think of some of the names now. Hot Pocket? No. Hot Sling? Hot Sling.
Oh, Hot Sling, I think, yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of like that. And I don't think that any of those are on the market still, because there was an issue a while back.
Because they're not
the
safe.
Babies slipped down too low. Yeah. So
we decided, I mean,
very quickly we're like, carrier market's not for us.
No.
So much, like, I mean, there's a lot that goes into carrier, safety, compliance, legal, everything. So it was like, okay, I made myself and my friends a couple, named them, great. I think we trademarked it, didn't need to.
No.
And
it wasn't quite a ring sling. A lot of people are saying ring sling. It wasn't a ring sling. It was.
It was like a tubular piece of fabric that you basically kind of like folded inside itself. You put one arm through. You wore it like a sash, and the baby kind of went between the two folds of the fabric.
Right.
And when they got older, you could sit them in it and kind of pull it high on their back, and then they sat on your hip. I feel like Autumn probably wore it mostly like that, because she wanted to be carried everywhere all the time for like the first 2 years of her life. And yeah, we had a Snuggly at that point, but that was not comfortable at all. So it's mostly just the little.
So in terms of products, not all of them make it.
Mm-hmm.
That would be one that didn't make it.
So yeah, at work were we back on the.
Let's see.
Making diapers for diaper swappers and but I made this website. That's where we were at. I made this website.
Hot Sling, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, put everything, little snapshots of all the fabrics, put them all online, and kind of opened it up for business. I put the link. So after we had the name, I bought rumperoos.com, and then after we had the link, gave it to diaper swappers, and it kind of went bananas. Like overnight, there was around 90 orders, and just the size of the orders, everything from 4 diapers to 24 diapers to, I think the biggest one was 64, and I shut the website down. It'd only been up 24 hours.
You're good, dude.
And counted up all the orders. I knew it took me 2 hours roughly to make a diaper start to finish.
Wait, how long?
2 hours.
2 hours to make a diaper start to finish. And how much were you selling them for then?
$14.
$14. Let's see here. That's $7 an hour, not including any sort of material. So as you can see,
we're making no money.
We were slave laboring ourselves to start this. But you know, with all good starts, I mean, you do what you got to do, and it's usually not a profitable venture. So here was my thought
process back then, which is completely opposite of what it is now.
Okay.
At least in like the, it used to be called the WHAM market, the work at home mom.
He just steps in. So this is Quinny. He's our second youngest. He just wants to pop in and say hello, give a wave, and say hi to all the viewers out there. Quinny and the Kanga Care family, you can speak as well. He's not. Yeah, I was gonna say you're not.
He just finished up his class meeting. How did it go? Good. Was it good to see everybody? Yeah, it's good to see your teacher. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shout out from Canada.
Awesome.
All right, continue.
Do you want to You just want to hang out
Take
there?
a break, man.
Yeah, you go have a snack or something. Have Autumn help you get the snacks. So,
Let's get sticky, Siobhan.
he's gonna grab a chair. Man. Oh, 2 hours. So,
Yeah, $7 an hour is what we were making back
Yeah.
then.
oh, so my thought process was that when
Good, Joy.
you,
Okay.
I was, entering the market that was already, had, fuzzy buns, happy heinies. Everybody was, there was already a price set. The price set was somewhere between like $15.99 and $17.99. And I was like, I'm not a brand. I'm making it myself. Half of this feels experimental. I don't feel like I can charge what you would be able to buy like a legitimate, well-made diaper for. So that's why I settled on $14.99. Which nowadays, if it had been the same, they would have been like $64.99.
Don't get me wrong. We'd love to offer the Rumperoo's pocket diaper as it is for $14.99. Absolutely. But that just economically is not reasonable.
I know. So, 24 hours, they've been on sale, shut the website down, counted up all the orders, and realized I was looking at 9 months worth of sewing orders. So I think we kept the website down for about a day and then relaunched it with the diapers set at $34.99. I think I doubled it a little bit more, and really in hopes to just kind of slow down the orders. But also we sat down and it was like, how much does the fabric cost? How long is it taking? And we did like the actual numbers, like, how, you can't make these for free. And it looks like the first 9 months are gonna be free or costing us. So relaunched the website, and it didn't really slow it down at all. So I put up a page on the website that was called the pending order queue. And as an order came in, that name went to the bottom of the list, said their last name, how many diapers were on the order, and an estimate of when their order would be complete. And it was like 9 months plus out at this point.
Oh my gosh, you were one of the first
And-
people to start FOMO. I didn't realize that. Never
Oh my
put those
gosh.
two together.
Founder of FOMO.
Founder of
I'm gonna
FOMO.
add it.
CEO and
add
founder
it
of
to my
FOMO.
title.
Okay, that's good.
So, and I contacted everybody, for the first 24 hours with the orders, and absolutely nobody canceled their order. I had people who wanted to know if I would just contact them before I started making it, in case there were any like new prints, or if, they had found out what gender they were having at that point, or so. But all in all, it actually went really smooth, made it through all 9 months of making orders. And by the time we got to that 9 months, we had already started getting stores contacting us and saying, hey, how do we order? My customers were talking about them. So in that 9 months, we also used that time to try and figure out, how do we do cut and sew? How do we do small batch manufacturing? And at the time, the internet was not a resource for any of these, like trying to hunt this stuff down. It was literally the yellow pages. Like the yellow pages that they used to deliver to your front porch, I busted into, found some local cut and sew places, started talking to some other manufacturers, some other moms working at home, and that literally just, old school research, trying to figure it out. Hi, you gonna bring your iPad in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sketching this down.
You're gonna have to turn this down.
Yeah, we can't have the 5-minute crafts going on right now. Please.
Chad loves 5-minute crafts.
Crafts. Sorry. Okay, go get headphones.
You could
No.
go, you have your own headphones.
I can't find.
What was I gonna say? Shoot.
Um,
Keep going.
I don't know. So that was kind of, for about 9 months, that's all it was. I would sit there. I would kind of started trying to assembly line the process. I'd go through, if it was a small order, then I would trace out multiple orders. If it was a big order, I'd just trace out that order. Try to come home, I'd hand him all my fabric and be like, can you cut these out? And anything that was already cut and ready, I would start sewing it. In the beginning, it was just size diapers. Size small, size medium, size large.
Lily.
I know.
She's doing the wave with herself.
And
All right, Autumn.
then I think when Autumn was in size small, By the time Autumn, well, here's kind of a funny, I had to pause at one point because Autumn outgrew her small diapers, and I had all these orders, and I was stressed out because I'm like, I don't even have time to make Autumn size medium. So I actually bought a whole bunch of pre-folds and covers from a local cloth diaper store. And I was like, we'll just use these, you know, until I have time to make her some more diapers. And I know some of you love those pre-folds. They were not my game. And I think we spent 2 or 3 days trying to do pre-folds, and then I contacted everybody and I was like, hey, everything is gonna get a 2-week delay, maybe less, but I have to make my kid some size medium diapers. So it was at that point right there, I had also had requests for snap diapers. Right now they were only Applix. So I also got a snap press. At the same time, I needed to make Autumn some mediums. And that was when I actually put together the first one size diaper, because I was like, you know, I'm gonna have to stop again at some point and make her larges. So that was, man, I'm not even sure. She was probably around like 6 months old, was when the one size diaper came out, and pretty much everything changed from, you know, size to one size. It kind of changed the orders that I had because a lot of people did switch over to the one size. A lot of people kept the sized ones and added a one size. But that was kind of probably the first real big change to the Rumparoos, going from only Applix in small, medium, large to now available in, I still did the small, medium, and large, but now you could also get them in Snap, or you could get the one size in Snap or Applix. So, yeah, I mean, from there it was kind of, were there any other really big changes before we went into manufacturing? I feel like that was kind of...
Product-wise, I don't think so, no. Manufacturing was a whole nother interesting thing. And again, neither of us have any sort of background in...
Or business, no business background.
Production or business operations, logistics, any of that stuff. So when we went into manufacturing in Denver here, locally, it was a extreme learning curve and a lot of tears.
Oh, yeah.
More
For
tears
me,
actually than
Chad would bull
happiness.
his eyes out.
No, I did not. I was the soother of tears because
He was still working at
I was
Wells
working,
Fargo.
yeah, I was working my 9 to 5 at Wells Fargo. I worked for Wells Fargo for about 10 years. And so when we were going through manufacturing, oh my God, you just spilled all over me, Quentin. What was that?
It's really cold.
That was really
Is that
cold.
water?
Is that water?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, thank God.
Woo!
Whew, that was. He just wrote an assignment about going on a water slide, and I mean, like a rafting thing, and I just feel like I just was on it with him.
Okay.
I just helped.
Lily
Yeah,
has
look at
just
here we
been
go.
invited
In
to
the
the
delay, and
Oh my gosh, that's so delayed.
You totally did it on purpose.
No,
It's on camera. He's like, no,
I
I
was watching
didn't.
the video. I was watching the video.
Okay, okay. All kids should go find some
Okay.
snacks, please.
Autumn invited Lily to
Oh my
the
gosh.
room.
Lily, come on.
So back to the manufacturing in Denver.
You guys are wondering how work at home's going.
Oh my gosh, that was, yeah, if you're watching both YouTube and Facebook, there's a super delay. So it's like, wait for it, wait for it. I'm like,
Watch it twice, jump from one to the next.
I'm just glad that wasn't apple juice or something.
I
'cause-
originally thought it was apple juice.
All right, no, thanks, buddy. All right, he brought a towel. Okay, okay.
Okay.
So when we got into manufacturing in Denver, Julie was very thorough. You guys, she's posted those kind of boards that had like the color of the fabric. Some of you were asking for some throwbacks. The color of the fabric, the tab material, as well as the snap. And so
Yeah.
the manufacturer had...
It's on like a poster board, like you're in like 8th grade and have to go to the science fair.
Yep, the manufacturer had those. And so even though they had those, I mean, we were getting product in, the production specs were wrong, the fabric was wrong.
They moved the elastic.
Everything in some aspect was not correct. So we'd go through and QC them ourselves, and out of a lot of, at that time, maybe 300 diapers, we'd come down to like 25 that were sellable, and Julie would just be in tears because we were sourcing all of our fabrics, we were sourcing all of our notions, sourcing everything, giving it to the manufacturer for them just to do the cut and sew, and then, you know, you're like expecting to get 300 sellable units, and you come home with 25 that can be sold.
Yeah.
And it was
Well, they would give us them in a
gut-wrenching.
big black trash bag, and we'd have to bring them home. We'd dump them out on the floor, and we'd go through them. And the thing is, and you guys are aware of this, it's waterproof material. So if you sew it wrong, you can't seam rip it and start over. It's done. And there was so many different issues. They put the tag in the wrong spot, and then they moved it. So, well, you can't do that. They put the elastic in the wrong spot on like an entire batch, which increased the size to, they moved it by an inch, and an inch is huge. So if you imagine like where the elastic attaches in the back, it attaching an inch lower, it actually makes the diapers too big to go even on like a toddler. So they were like, oh, we can fix it. And I'm like, you can't fix it because you can't seam rip the waterproof material and start over. So when you're manufacturing in the US, you are basically, like Chad said, you source everything. You contact the company that sells elastic. You figure out how much elastic you need and you send that to your cut and sew factory. You figure out all the different colors of thread that you need. You look at their book, you order them by number, you figure out how much, and you send those to your cut and sew. Same thing with all the different fabrics. So everything is bought by you, paid by you, and shipped to cut and sew. Cut and sew gets it. If they screw anything up, you're out. All the fabric, all the thread, anything that can't be salvaged, you have to buy again. And the cut and sew takes zero responsibility. They're still going to send you a bill for a cut and sew because they did the work.
Yeah.
You might get a discount because it's
Wrong.
but they still did the work. And I mean, it was truly a moment of, well, and we actually did get to the point. We got to the point where I was like, we're done. I can't continue making the orders.
I think I heard I think you mean done as far as we can't make them ourselves, but there was also many times where
Nope, I was like, we're done, brand's over.
I was gonna say, we had that too, where Julie was like, this is gonna ruin us, we're done, we'll never be able to succeed as a business. I mean, it's just not gonna happen. And I was like, that was like the moments of, we balanced each other in a really weird, good way, because I was like, it's fine, don't worry about it, like, we'll get through this, we'll figure it out, you know, just move on, heads up, move on. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
We had to do it because, I mean, back then, I mean, that wasn't just like one run either. That was like
No.
almost every single time we got something from that manufacturer.
Yeah.
It was
And
just
we
like,
went through rounds of this with many manufacturers. That was in Denver. We went through 3 rounds of this
Yeah.
in Denver, and then we moved to Chicago.
what's up? What?
Um,
I know.
we went through it with Chicago. No, we went and
Your sister.
we had a place in Texas. We went through 1 round with them, and it was like, this isn't going to go anywhere. And then we went to Chicago. Chicago appeared that they were going to be the best, and then very quickly found out that their sewing lines were turning over every 2 weeks. So our first batch was pretty good. There were some small issues.
First batch was like, they're supposed to be, they said they were going to be pushing out, 300, 400 diapers a week. And remember, they sent a box with like
Oh, yeah.
6 diapers in it. And we're
She
like,
sent a flat rate envelope. It had 9 diapers
yeah,
in it.
we're like, what?
But they looked okay. And so
Right.
her whole thing was like, we just need to make sure we're getting this right. And it was like, okay, well, everything looks pretty good. There was something a little weird with the elastic. It's hard to explain. It was in the right spot, but they had, it wasn't gathering right. Yeah. And so I was like, really, it's small, just easy to be corrected. The next batch, that was correct. Then the tag was in the wrong spot. And I'm like, okay, fix the first problem, now there's a new problem. Next batch, fix the tag, now the elastic was wrong and something else was wrong. And I was like, what's happening? Well, there was different people every single time sewing it. There wasn't one person who actually had sewn each round. So it finally got to the point, it just got to be messier and messier. I finally was like, we're done. At this point, Sebastian was 3 months old. I packed him up. I brought my dad. We flew to Chicago
In the morning.
earliest flight we could get. Went to the factory, loaded everything onto pallets, everything we could find. The place was a mess. Our stuff was everywhere. It was tucked under tables. Some of it was on sewing machines. Others was in like a back room. It was the weirdest place I'd ever been. And packed everything that we could find up. Took it over to a freight company. Got it all labeled to come back to Colorado. And then we got on a plane that night. So 3-month-old baby, my dad, flew in the morning, back at night, sent everything home, and that was it. I was done after that. I think there was a little bit of a break where we kind of went through some of the materials that we did have, tried to figure out if there was anything that I could pick up where they left off and at least finish, because we had bought all this material. You guys, we have so many boxes at Kanga Care still that came back from Chicago that
we've thrown a lot away.
Can't do anything with. And like, I know Mary, hey, she's waiting for some of that. We moved from the two warehouses, and in the move, that box got like stuck up in the rafters somewhere. We need to dig it down.
I know exactly where they're at.
Do you? Well, yesterday you were like, oh, you want me to go digging for that?
Oh, that's the stuff you're looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, you said, okay, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Well, shoot, now I know what you're talking about.
So, but we were getting ready to go on a family vacation. Kind of right when this was going on, we were gonna go to Seattle with my parents. Chad's mom came to Colorado and stayed at our house with Madison, Lily, Madison, Autumn, and Sebastian, and just Chad and I and my dad and my stepmom went to Seattle. While we were in Seattle, a friend of mine who, I don't know, some of you guys will remember who Baby Legs.
Still around.
Not really.
No?
No. Baby Legs was bought and purchased by United Legwear, which also owns like Skechers and stuff. But Baby Legs was selling through Target under Knot Socks for a while. Does anybody remember Baby Legs?
Anybody remember Baby Legs?
They were the original little leg warmers, and
thumbs up for Baby Legs.
The owner had started making them because her daughter was getting diaper rashes, and they wanted to have kind of more like the EC route. So she went diaperless a lot, but she wanted to give her something for her legs to keep them warm. So that's kind of how Baby Legs got started. But anyways, she was a friend of mine, and so when we were in Seattle, we were gonna stop by and see her. And so we went over to the Seattle office, and she kind of gave us a little tour, and we sat around for a while, and she asked how things were going with the diapers and Kanga Care. And I was like, it's not, and we're done. And so we kind of talked about all the manufacturing issues that we had had, and she's like, do you want me to send a sample over to my factory? And I was like, no, because the way that like our customers are so like, made in the USA, and everybody's like really green and crunchy, and it's just not gonna fly for us to move production to China. And she's like, well, it'd be worth a shot, because if you're just gonna be done, like done, what do you have to lose? So when we got home, I sent her a diaper, and she sent it over to her factory, and then when they sent them back, they sent it just directly to me.
This is Facebook.
And they kind of did something that manufacturers don't do, ever. Like they still don't do. And that was that my sample that came back from them was the same quality fabric, the same color on the outside. It was the same micro chamois inside. They used the same elastic. They made a tag. They had it was literally all of our bulk production components. And what factories will a lot of times do is they'll use sample material to give you, a product sample, so you can look at the way it's sewn and say, yes, this works. And then you have to go in and get your production materials.
Enough.
They had given me a sample back that was completely made out of production material, and I couldn't tell the two apart. I couldn't tell which diaper I had sent them and which diaper they had just sent back. And so that was kind of like the moment, like, all right, let's see what it means to manufacture in China and go forward. And if we have customers that don't like it, then we just have to change, our model. And, we already knew a lot about the company and the factory. As far as like they're European owned and operated, the owners are Danish. It's a small family run factory. They actually don't just accept any type of sewing job. The owner is very particular in who she chooses, and she only will manufacture for companies that are green and sustainable. We were almost a little outside of basically like her ethics, because the materials are not sustainable, but the cloth diaper impact on the environment is what she was like, okay, we can do this.
So what do you mean by the materials weren't sustainable?
Well, because they're synthetic. because like the TPU, the waterproof laminate,
Polyesters.
the polyesters, which is also why we have kind of adjusted what we use as far as like our TPU is biodegradable, and it's something that we used to put on the packaging that we don't anymore just because it doesn't meet is it the FDA standards for no whose standards doesn't it meet?
FDA biodegradability. To be able to say biodegradable on packaging now, it has to biodegrade on its own under no certain
like no
circumstances
compost
in a matter of like 6 months
1 year.
or 1 year. Okay.
Yeah.
So like banana peel.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't meet those standards because it takes between 4 and 5 years. So, it doesn't mean that it's not biodegradable or that we got rid of that material because it's still the same. We just can't market it the same way. But yeah, so we have, and it's nice because the factory is so environmentally conscious and sustainable. They take the extra effort to say, hey, there's this fabric now that's fairly new that you guys could replace, XYZ on your product and start using it. It would be, a seamless transition. And actually we're getting ready to do that right now. We're sampling the newest like waterproof laminate fabric. Still got the biodegradable laminate, but the polyester is a PET, just like the EcoPosh jersey. The color on the outside of the EcoPosh is a PET, which is a polyester that's made from recycled water bottles. So right now we're looking at a TPU that is also made out of recycled water bottles and then has the biodegradable laminate on it. So, and it takes a while. We got to go through testing, and then, once it actually goes into production, I think a lot of you guys have started to realize that that can take anywhere up to like 9 months. And by the time it kind of gets filtered into the market, it's a process. So, but yeah.
Sarita had asked, have we ever visited the factory? Yes, we've visited the factory many times. That's always been kind of a part of our fundamentals and a part of our just business ethic, is to make sure we're producing in sound factories and making sure the product is coming from somewhere that we feel good about. Throughout the years, we have visited other factories that didn't meet our personal Kanga Care cut and standards. We could have saved costs. We could have changed.
They're great samples. Like the product we were pretty excited about.
We could have done movements to the company that would be better for us, but we decided not to because we went and saw the conditions of the factory, which we didn't agree with, and we didn't agree with how they were storing the fabrics, just conditions where the factory was located, the factory conditions itself. So we did not produce there, and we moved on.
It's actually been really difficult because our current factory, we have such high standards for all other factories based off our current factory. Our current factory does not operate like your traditional manufacturing facility in China. They are very European owned and operated and run. They carry a lot of those same standards over from Europe because the owners didn't go to manufacture in China so that they could cut quality and get around different obstacles. They went to China because they needed access and space for all their organic textiles, and that is where hemp and bamboo and soy, all of this is grown. So all of because our manufacturer also creates their own line of high-end fashion that is sold in Denmark, and all their materials were coming from China. Way back in the beginning, not related to our specific story, they had some issues with their own factory in China, falsifying some records and doing some not cool things. And so that's when they decided to shut down their manufacturing. They moved to China for 2 years and they set up their own manufacturing from the ground up so that they had full control over their fabrics. They knew that they were organic. They knew they were certified. They knew where they were coming from. They knew who was working for them. And then once they had that all up and running, then they kind of started producing little bits and things here and there for some of their friends.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not your average manufacturer, which is why it makes it hard for us when we have something new, that we want to get made, and then it's like we just compare them to like the best possible scenario, and so when they don't stack up, it's kind of like, sorry.
Yeah. And we've been with our manufacturer that we're with now. I mean, they've been ever since we made the move from the nightmare in Chicago to and Denver to China. We've had the exact same manufacturer the whole time. So we've been with
2009.
them. Yeah, so we've been with them 11 years, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think everybody has some issues here and there, and you just hope they're minimal. And I would say we've been very grateful and lucky in choosing the factory that we do, that the issues we've had have been very small. If we do have issues, they're always way willing to take care of it, fix it, replace it without any question to us. We have a very, very deep connected relationship with the owners. She emailed us just, yesterday, the other day,
Yeah.
checking in with how everything's going over here, if we're healthy, how the family's doing, missing the kids. She's stayed in our house 3 times when she's come to the
Yeah,
U.S.
she visits. What we'll do is, 1 year we'll go to China, and then the next year, maybe the next, she comes here, and then we go to China, and then she comes here. Or we see her a lot pretty much every year when we go to Germany and we do the Kanga trade show. It's like a couple hours for her to come over from Denmark.
Yep.
And so we almost see her every single year. And then a few years ago, actually, after Kanga, we went back up to Denmark with her and stayed with her, and she kind of showed us around Copenhagen, and we took like the little ferry across to Sweden and just kind of, yeah.
Ekstrom, Swedish.
Yeah. So
yeah.
she's like family.
What else factory wise? I mean, we could tell you stories for days. I mean, if you've ever met us in person, we'll start telling you crazy stories. They're fun,
Factory is amazing. I would actually, it's funny because every time we visit, it's like, well, I want to work here.
Right.
I mean, they cater in lunch every day. They have like a yoga studio. They have an art studio, and you walk down the hallways, and there's art hanging up, and it's from like the employees who work there. They work basically a normal 9 to 5. They're paid hourly, so they're not paid by piece. It's very European. Like I keep saying that, but I just don't even know how.
So paying them by piece is what you get speed and you get mistakes, versus paying them hourly. They're not forced to rush, and that's where you get quality.
Yeah.
So our manufacturing price is higher. We know that, but in results we get the quality we want, and also the fabrics we use are different too. So when you look at our price of a product versus comparable market prices of other products, standard line U.S. brands as well as just gray market Chinese brand ones, there's difference in fabrics that are being used there too. And most of you in the chat have seen you say it, you've taken a Kanga Care diaper, and then if you compare it to some other diapers, you'll be able to start to see what's going on there and what's the difference. And that's where the financial piece of the price comes in, and the difference too is kind of more you pay for what you get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we could make their own brews with different materials and
make them cheap.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
But I think the first person to receive their diaper would be like, this isn't the right diaper.
Right.
So
that's kind of the story on like how we got going, manufacturing, Kanga Care. I mean, through all of that, there's been growth. There's been new products that we've launched. There's been new products we've expanded. Sarita asked a while ago, I wrote a little note here, what about the tote bags? Because that was a product you've seen and then it's gone. That was actually a promotional product that we made for one of the business-to-business trade shows called, ABC. And we gave them away to all the retailers at the show.
It kind of had like catalog and information about the company and...
So there were some extras that were left over after that, and that's how those ended up kind of sprinkling their way into the Kanga Care world. So some of you are saying you have them and you love them. It was made out of the exact same material as the diapers. So it was it's the waterproof material, and it was just made into a tote. Now there's 2 types of totes. There's those totes which were like in Quinn and Dexter and one more print. What else was
Invader, Jeweled.
Invader and Jeweled.
Clyde.
And then
Bonnie.
the other totes are the ones that like fold inside of themselves that are the reusable shop. Yeah, that's more of the reusable shopping bag, just to clarify, because they've both been out there.
Yeah, so we had a few of those. We had ones that we had co-branded with Chico. I think it's Chico.
Yeah, don't Yeah.
the Chico bag,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
'Cause
then
Kiko is the
yeah,
other
Kiko is
baby
the-
brand
yeah.
that's not the same thing.
diaper.
But it looks
car
like
seat.
it's spelled the same. Okay.
And then yeah, the other ones were ones that our factory had made that were like the shape of a diaper, that I didn't really like. Diaper was cute. The colors were weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about color palettes. If you look at the old Rumperoos and you just look at the color palettes of the G1s and early G2s and stuff, and now what it looks like now, I mean, that just kind of goes to show what color popularities change over time as well.
Oh, yeah.
So Julie's also had a, as you guys can probably say and appreciate, a knack for knowing what's trending
like
and
what's
in
coming?
with like colors and
I have
prints
secrets.
and that stuff
I have
like that.
secrets.
Yeah, so she's always making her. Why don't you talk about that real quick, and then we'll get into the questions. Talk about like everybody. I mean, because I think it's probably a question. Like, how do you inspire to, like, what do you look at? How do you create? What do you do to come up with a print? Because Julie designs the
Gosh,
prints,
it's all over the place.
and Markel gets in and designing prints as well. So, what goes into creating a print? Besides being a magician in Photoshop, because
Well, I will tell you something that happened just, I think, yesterday. That was really funny.
the cat threw up on the floor again. Wait,
No, I'm surprised the
That
cats
happened
haven't
too.
made it into the live.
they're
We
they're
won't-
sleeping.
yeah.
They were. Did you hear
You'll
them
see
earlier?
them.
They were like tumbling around
yeah.
and wrestling.
So inspiration comes from a lot of places. And usually I will like take a picture, write something down. If I see something in a store, I might buy it just so that like I have it.
That explains all the stuff around my house. Okay.
It explains the stuff that everything is sitting on right here. No. But so yesterday, the day before,
They
Chad-
don't realize they're stacked on top of secrets right
Right.
now. We had to do some makeshift studio here, and they're
So
stacked
funny.
on secrets.
Yep. So we were at home here, and Chad like picked something up, and he goes, "Is this where you got the idea for insert name of new print coming this year?" And I was like, "Yep." And he just started laughing and like walked away.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I can't say anything more. But
I know. Let's see, Preppy, which was like my all-time favorite print for the longest time. That was actually very similar to a phone case that I had. Yeah,
Sarita
there's
says-
so much.
So I have. Wait. It says. So I have any prints that you have received and are like, what the heck is this, or what were we thinking once you saw the diaper? Okay. So we go through here. I'll preface, and then you can take over.
Oh, I even took my breath to start talking.
Yeah, we do not use. We have, if you're local, there's a good chance you get to see sneak peeks sometimes of like the drawer of fabric samples. So sometimes, Julie, the prints can take 2 years
Oh gosh.
or more to come to life because she'll go through so many rounds of getting the colors right. So when you get
Yeah.
the fabric strike off from the factory, she'll be like, oh, this blue isn't right. This purple isn't the purple I want. I mean, that's the vision that I'm like, it's purple, it's blue.
Well, anybody
it
who's
looks
worked on the
nice.
computer knows that like light color versus pigment color is different, and you have to treat it differently. So like I'll work on the computer, and then I have to match it to a Pantone book, and then once we give the factory the Pantones for the artwork, and it comes in on fabric, then it looks even different, and then you have to adjust it either up or down based on like the hue. And yeah, I mean,
So we have, needless to say, there's many strike-offs of some really cool prints that when they come, Julia will see it on the fabric because we don't even get a full product made. It's just a nice big
Sheet of
square,
fabric.
and
just sneeze, I can't.
stare at the light, and she'll go, no, I don't like this one, and throw it completely to the side and stop it completely. So there's prints that have been made that have
We got a
never
whole drawer. I was like, I am not messing with this.
never
We're done.
made it to production. There's prints that are stuck because Julie from the inspirational artistic place isn't happy with the way it's come together.
I've gotten stuck and frustrated and moved on. So we've had like a schedule where we're like, these are coming, and then it kind of stalls out, and then I'll either get. I've had actually this year a lot of the prints that ended up happening for this year kind of came out of nowhere, just because I was like, oh, that'd be cute, and kind of like whip it up. Where I've got other ones kind of sitting that have kind of been in creative mode for a while that this one just like came in, took the plate, and jumped and it's already in production.
Yeah,
So.
and there's a lot of prints that are impending, which means
Mm-hmm.
maybe the inspiration, maybe it didn't come together as far as what your inspiration was behind it, but then it will still be revisited later,
Yeah.
or you never know. I mean, there's one that there's a couple that I absolutely love that I've never done. There's a lot, actually.
I know what you're talking about.
But now you can talk about it since I just talked a lot about it. I just want to put my outside view of it because I see what Julie does in creating.
Well, and I think
And
like
it's pretty cool and neat to see the other side of it because I have a different lens on it than you do.
yeah. Well, and I know, and Sarita was saying like, you know, are there ever any prints that you've been like, oh, what were we thinking when it actually came and like arrived on the diaper? And I would say no. I don't think I've ever felt like once we've actually received the shipment, open the first box, and we go, what were we thinking? But definitely when those fabric swatches come in, I'll be really excited, and I open it up, and I'm like, that does not look at all like I thought it would.
So we get envelopes to the office pretty frequently with fabric swatches, and those are always fun to open. Our team knows, well, the team that's in-house knows that, geez,
What was
computer,
that?
I don't know, it decided it wanted to show me some mail, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Computer just opened all my mail. The team in-house gets really excited about, we open them up and we take a look, and then it's like, I usually grab them and I open them, and then I'm like, Julie, fabric samples, and then
I'm
Markel
like, why is
will
this open
come.
already?
Yeah, Markel will come, and then we'll go show Karen's, and then if they're really good and they're getting close to being produced, then we'll take shots and send them over to Amy and Aaron so they know what's up and how they're coming along because you don't get to see that excitement. So that's really exciting and fun because, but a lot of times Julie will get them and then she'll be like, I'm like, man, that's awesome. Let's go with that. We're ready to rock that one right there. And she'll be
like,
like,
what are you
nope,
talking
no. This one's not even close, Chad. And I'm like, that's why I don't design diapers.
I will say the most difficult ones are the collections.
Alice.
Yeah, Alice
Peter.
took a really long time because actually the very first print that I designed in Alice was the very first one I started on was Alice, which, as you guys know, ended up being the last one. I got to a point with Alice where I was kind of stalling out, getting frustrated with it, moved on to Cheshire. Cheshire didn't take quite as much time. Like, I was happy with the design pretty quick, but in designing that one, it changed what I wanted to do for Alice. So I almost completely scrapped almost 100% what the original, what the first Alice print looked like. And then, you know, sending both of those into the factory to start getting the colors done. I started working on the other ones, and then they came back, and the rabbit hole on Alice, where that blue fades, where the dark blue fades to a lighter blue, that was the first time we'd ever done that in a print, and that took forever to go back and forth. I have stacks of like 12 by 12 sheets of fabric that is one strike off, and the stack is literally probably 6 inches tall of just fabric samples back and forth, changing colors, coming back in, trying to get that gradation right. At one point, almost completely scrapped the gradation because we just couldn't get it right. And then in the meantime, Cheshire, the purples were weird. Some of them weren't even printing at all. It just looked like multiple rings of like black. And I mean, we knew that we needed something in there to be orchid because we were going to trim it in orchid. But that process took so long, it completely derailed what I was working on the other 3 prints, and made me not even want to work on it at all. And if you guys know how much I love Alice, like, that's huge. So then I switched gears and into Neverland. And Neverland was kind of the same idea, equally as passionate. And Neverland, I kind of already knew, you know, how I wanted it to work because it was very similar to Alice. And that just came together. All 4 prints came together in a matter of like 6 weeks.
That came to, yeah, those were quick.
Yeah. And so we were like, all right, there's that one. So, but the collections, I feel like they take the longest because they need to have that same feel, they need to be cohesive. And I mean, they're fun. Chad's like, we need more. And I'm like, hold on, I just finished one.
Those collections, honestly, which are ever so adored and loved, and which is awesome to see the response to those. take the longest to put together because Julie will give her heart, soul, and everything into designing of those. So know that those aren't easy just to whip out because those are like, I would say that's your like A+ top of the line work usually when those are done, because Julie had an Alice collection going that never made it to production as well because she went a whole different route into what exists now.
Yeah.
And that, I'm glad for that turn because it's very different style-wise.
Way different.
The colors, the richness, everything is just so different that if you look at them and you look at it side by side, I still like the first styling though, but the way you did it on what exists
Yeah.
now, I love way more.
Then you know what? The Neverland collection wouldn't have looked the way it did if I hadn't started Alice first.
Yep.
So, and I don't know if any of you guys feel like they're kind of similar, but a lot of how I was going about the Alice print specifically, I kind of rolled over when I started working on the Neverland one.
Everybody's getting into the Harry Potter.
I know. You guys, okay.
Talk about Harry Potter for a
Let's
moment.
put this all out on the table. Warner Brothers. We have to get a Warner Brothers license, and I am telling you, we've been talking to them. It is not that it's like a difficult license to get. It is an expensive license to get.
Maybe they don't understand what licensing means.
So when we license something, everybody has a different royalty rate. Here's a fun fact. We had a Sanrio license for Hello Kitty and all that kind of stuff. We never used it. The artwork fee alone is $5,000. I don't even know anymore.
There's probably NDAs, you shouldn't say that, but it's a lot of money.
$5,000 a year. And I won't say anything else. But so, and then the royalties on top of that.
So you say, let me help. Julie's like, not
Let me bring my lawyer in here real quick.
Let me help. So, in a licensing agreement with any company, generally the way this works is you might
We'll pay extra.
pay to access the artwork annually. You might pay a royalty percentage based off of sales channel, blah, 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 blah. You might pay a marketing fund, which is to help overall sell the, not just you, but just pay to market the brand, the product line, and all that.
For the company.
For the
like
company.
For Warner Brothers.
Right.
Like they're going to charge us
let's
a
just
fee
say,
to
let's
market
just
our
pull
product.
a number out of an example. For example, maybe your marketing fund payment might be like 1% of all sales. Okay. So, and that's with everything else you already pay. And then you also pay up front a reserve. So let's pretend, and it's all negotiable. So these numbers are all just pretend, and I'll use fake numbers. So let's pretend for a certain said license, you need $100 up front paid even to get going.
Well, it's usually based off of 2 years of sales.
Yes.
It's a percentage of what you forecast you're going to sell of the product over 2 years. They want it
Right.
up front. They want the royalties for that up front.
So then you earn against that. So as you sell, you report, and then that takes it off of that amount. And then once you surpass that, you pay additionally on those royalties. So the royalty piece is a big game. It's a game changer. We love it.
The royalty is the biggest royalty that we've encountered.
So far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far.
Yep. So it's not, it's not that we don't necessarily want to do it. It's just, from a business aspect, because I think we have a lot of transparent, pretty open talks with you guys as well, because you're our people, our crew, our family, our Roo crew.
Right.
We have to look at that because we look at, okay, so there's a licensing opportunity. Oh, but there also might be an opportunity for a whole new product line, or there might be an opportunity for a completely different product line that fits, but it's unrelated to diapering, for example. So that's just kind of the business aspect of looking at those things. So it's definitely never gone. It's definitely not a thing. But it's we have strategically have to make our picks and chooses as we
We're
go.
still talking. We're still working on this.
not done.
If when we get the license, it might be 9 months before a print comes out, but
Right.
I will let you know.
Guess what?
I know. So
All right, let's get to the questions they asked. So we've given you a
All
lot
right,
of kind
yeah.
of just background about the
God,
company,
we're an hour
about
in.
production. So we're gonna get into some questions. There was a ton of questions. I guarantee you we're probably not gonna take all of them just because they would probably take another hour of your time. but we've been going here solid for over an hour now, so thanks for hanging with us. This is fun for us to let you know more about what we do every day on the daily. You know, you guys see a lot of our moderators, which we absolutely love and adore, in the chat group. And if you're not in our chat and you're listening in on this, please join our chat group. And as well as, you know, Markel, and a pause for her for a quick second.
Yes.
I hope you guys saw her post. Beautiful, beautiful. We're so happy for her. We couldn't be more happy for her. It's been so exciting to know Markel over this past almost 5 years, a part of our Kanga Care family, and seeing all the hard work she's done with our community and with our company. So send her fair wishes and fair family bonding times as she's at home here, spending a bunch of time with her brand new little one.
It's crazy. We were talking, you know, when she kind of, you know, gives an update and sent a picture, and it was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, there's a cat.
He's on the outside. Because we've seen her, you know, every day. Hi there, that's Willow. We've seen her every day, and, you know, as her little belly gets bigger and bigger, and it's like, oh, that's the baby that was in there.
Kitty.
Hi.
She's using the chair as a scratching post, which has been a little bit of an issue in this
Oh,
house.
sorry.
But she just woke up.
I know.
All right,
Oh,
so you want to finish your thought there, and then we'll move on to some questions?
So, but yeah, basically the whole, like, just the whole wowness of being able to, like, see what he looks like, and he's here, and it's so crazy. He's like, you know, he's been coming to the office, you know, twice a week for the past 9 months, but nobody got to see him till
In
now.
utero.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on with your camera?
Mom's camera is
That's
really
my
weird when you
camera.
twist it sideways. It's like a fun house, so
I
we can't
know.
look at that one very
Oh,
much
that's
because it's
Mom's phone?
squished.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's your phone?
Here, do you want to take
You're
Willow?
fancy.
No, because you're, oh.
Okay, we're still at, bud.
That's my arm, and that's a really weird way.
All right. Are you
Okay.
gonna do the honors with the questions?
Sure. Since
I
they're over
need to
here.
post Something.
You need what?
Okay, can you wait, buddy? We're still
It's
on the
for
line.
school.
Okay, we'll just pause for now, okay? Move on to something new, and then we'll
Go have a
when we
snack.
get back. Quinny and Sebastian, why don't you guys go get snacks?
We've kind of got school on hold a little bit. Okay, so
Yes, we have tried lemon. Julie's got some sprays that don't seem to do much. Oh my gosh,
they
excuse me.
do, like, for a moment,
For a
but
Come on, baby.
let's skip right to this question down here. What's in your boozy roozy?
Coffee. Straight up.
No, that's bruisey roozy.
Oh. Well, coffee.
Okay, what do you usually have in your boozy roozy?
Tequila.
Tequila. Mine would be vodka. Mine,
Now we're getting into the questions.
I know, right? Mine is usually only a Moscow Mule.
Yeah. I used to drink those for, I kind of just got
I can't
done
say
with
that
them,
I've
burnt
actually
out.
really drank anything else.
I got this transition over to tequila, and I'm absolutely digging the tequila. Which is
Alright.
funny because I have a really terrible story I'm not going to tell you from college.
Oh, that was a
I
bad
think
story.
everybody has one of those, but
All right, I'm gonna turn them bold when we've done them.
All right.
Bruise. How do you take your bruisey roozy?
what? How do I
Brew.
take my bruisey roozy? Okay, I like my coffee strong and no sugar, no cream. So typically I get Americanos with extra shots. So that means like
5 shots.
5 shots, sometimes 6 of espresso and water.
And there's even been times where, like, he gets to the office first because Madison and Autumn go to school early when they have school. And so he takes them, goes to the office, and then I take the younger 3 who start an hour later. And when I'm getting coffee, after I've dropped them off, sometimes he's ready for round 2. So I'll bring him another one, usually not with the extra shot that time. But
Markel has even made a comment. She can tell when I've had my coffee because all of a sudden she sits in an office that's situated kind of in the middle, and they all have windows, and she'll see me just start going back and forth. She's told me that before. I'm like, that is true. I get antsy. That's why I'm like, let's get stuff done today. What are we gonna get done today? Come on, let's go.
oh my gosh. Okay, so let's come back up here. And let's see, what do I do? Usually I do iced soy latte because I can't do dairy. And recently I've been doing like the 1 pump, these are Starbucks orders by the way, 1 pump of the sugar-free cinnamon dolce. Okay,
Okay.
Moving on.
Go down to some of these you can answer with yes or no's.
What's that?
Would Chad ever bring the dreads back? I would love to. I'm getting old. My hair
Are
doesn't
you?
grow very fast. When I put my hair in dreads before,
Killing
my
some
hair
dreams
was
here.
down to my shoulders. Then Julie was actually my beautician. She'd work on it for at least 3 hours a week,
We
which
put a movie on. No, it was like every other night.
yeah. So I had really nice dreads, but it was not. Dreads take more work than this because
Oh.
I didn't just let them be.
Oh,
I like we worked them, which just means rolling them. I didn't use any
was
weird
gonna
waxes,
put it on
peanut
the
butter.
phone.
Heard some really crazy stories about people and what they put in their dreads. It was hair, and we used a little bit of product called Lockup when they were starting, which is for dreadlocks.
Oh, that was even pre-me. That was when Robert did them.
Yeah, and then just rolled them, back rat roll. So would I like to? Yes. Do I have? If you said do your dreads right now, Chad, I'd be like, cool.
Did you guys know he had dreads?
Maybe this. Well, maybe not.
You need to post a picture later.
Maybe this is a good time to do it because no one will see me because we're in quarantine.
Bring back the.
It would totally take me probably
This would be the perfect
3
time to
years
grow your dreads.
before you'd see dreads on my hair because my hair just is slow growing now. So it
Yeah, because it's got to get down to at least like.
no, it's down to
little
my
shoulders.
right here. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's when they were so short and they like stuck
Oh yeah.
out.
So they were my hair. My hair was down to my shoulders. I used to look like JC. My hair was down to my shoulders. Quentin, please don't. And we dreaded them, and then they became like this big. So you can realize how much that. You can go do your Facebook stalking, and you can find many on my profile pictures.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, this one's really delayed.
Oh, Facebook is so delayed. It's ridiculous. It's like
All
3
right.
years later. You can see my coffee's kicked in now.
Yeah.
What is the oldest print currently in production?
Can you see that? Oh.
So oldest print currently in production that's still alive, like in purchasable.
It's either Quinn or Charlie.
Weren't those at the same time?
They were very close together.
Yes,
So
that is you.
first was Preppy. Okay, it must be Quinn
Nope,
because
that's not in production anymore.
no, but listen, just because Preppy was the first plaid, and then
Yes.
Quinn was kind of made. No, Preppy and Dexter.
That was
Yeah,
Quinn.
here's Quinn. Oh, look at the colors on his shirt. Preppy and Dexter were kind of like our his and hers, and then Quentin had a shirt that was from Baby Gap that was the same colors and also like a the diagonal plaid pattern.
Diagonally.
So Quinn, the diaper, actually was inspired by Quentin's shirt from when he was like, I don't know, little, 6 months old. And then after that came Charlie.
Someone said,
Yeah.
where are you from? I don't know if they're asking us or someone in this chat. We can answer it anyhow. Where are we from?
Where are you from?
I'm from right outside of Duluth, Minnesota. So it's northern Minnesota, almost to Canada. It's cold, long winters.
Yeah.
Midwest. Wholesome Midwest, about 2 hours north of Minneapolis. Where are you from?
Here,
Denver, Colorado. Where's
Yep.
here?
native Colorado.
That's rare. For
Yeah.
anybody who knows Colorado, native and Colorado don't go together.
And
All right.
our kids are second generation native.
Moving on.
All right. So, how long did you create manufacture products in house? We kind of went through that. So basically,
About 2 years.
yeah, because made it through the first 9 months of product, and then still had orders to kind of finish up here and there. And
And we figured we've made the first 2,000 diapers by
Mm-hmm.
hand.
yep, I counted up all the orders at one point, and it was like 2,112, something like that, to be exact.
High five, Samantha.
How many designs did it take before deciding on the current diaper designs? So last night when we were talking about this, reading over them, Chad was thinking like, how many versions do the prints go through before it becomes like the final print and put on the diaper? And I was reading it as like, how many designs, as in like how many diaper patterns did it take to get to where we are with like what the Rumperoos is today that you guys are using. So to answer both of those, we kind of did with the prints. The prints are all different. Sometimes we can get, a fabric sample back from the factory and we're like, oh my God, no changes, go. Other times it can take months to go through. Sometimes have to change the actual print, the artwork. Other times it's just colors. As far as the diapers go, in the very beginning the diapers were sized, small, medium, large. And then they went into the one size. And those were technically the G1. The G1 had stretchy tabs. So on the body of the rumperoos was all waterproof. And then where the tabs are, there was a seam and it was separately attached, and they were spandex. The problem with the spandex is that for side sleepers and babies that roll over on their tummy at night, that seam is like a leaking point. So it leaks right there, and then that spandex isn't waterproof. So then the whole tab just
Wicks.
gets soaked. Yeah, it wicks. And then also over time, the tabs did two things.
Stretched out.
All of the spandex was the same quality spandex, but some of the spandex got really stretched out, and like the little elastic threads would actually start breaking. So it would get like kind of wiggly and weird looking, and it also faded. So we've had some customers who are like, what was that one diaper that had the white spandex tabs? And we're like, none of them. That was probably whale tail, and the blue completely faded to white.
Or the, what was the green one? Shoot.
Or whale tail had green tabs.
No. The green.
The green
solid
diaper?
color diaper.
It's like just spring, the original
Spring,
which
yeah,
is
those
green.
would
Spring.
bleach out to like white.
Yeah, so if you guys have like spring, Bermuda, crimson, amethyst, those came in two styles. Those came in the G1 that had the stretchy tabs. So the G1 is stretchy tab design, and the G2, which is the version now, is the unibody design. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I did that.
Da-da-da. Chad, when are you gonna make a dad-inspired diaper?
I don't design.
He gives input.
I give input. Yeah, so my designing is secondary. So when Julie's making something, I'll be like, why are those so close together? Or you should use purple right there. That's my input of designing. Or I don't like that.
Yeah.
Or
that one's my favorite. When I've been working on something.
Yeah, Philip and I should get together on this one. I do a lot of inspiration too, though. I mean, because
Yeah.
so my way of designing is to be like, hey, we should do a diaper like
So what
blah,
was
blah,
your very
blah.
first diaper?
So the original Kangaroo's diaper, which was our kind of branded diaper before Roozy, I was the inspiration behind that one. Sebastian? Sebastian had a pair of pajamas that had little monkeys all over them.
I just posted that picture too, like
did
a
you?
couple days ago.
Okay, so he had a pair of pajamas, little monkeys. I'm like, we should do this with our logo. We can switch up the colors on the diapers, you know, all that stuff.
No, I think I used the same colors as in the jammies. They just went really well together.
Yeah, so that's my inspiration. I don't design, so I can't get onto a computer and design. So I do design, I guess, through channeling. Channeling to Julie, like, hey, we should do a geometric diaper. Or what have you seen that you like that is in this style? Because I think we should do something like this. Like Lily, I was like, hey, birds. Or maybe there's another one that's coming that was more relative to that.
Well, because
Whoops.
Lily's whole like theme. I don't even know what he's talking about, so you can ignore him. Lily's whole room theme, like
dang
her nursery and
Fired.
whatnot, her room still is all birds, and so yeah.
So Lily, I had some input on that. Anyhow, so yeah, that's my way of channeling my design, because I don't get onto Photoshop and do the actual. I get to like more ideal. Yeah. Okay.
Good. All right. Do your kids have any interest in designing diapers? Yeah.
Yep.
Madison's been designing diapers since she was like, what?
Can get a piece
10
of
or
paper
11?
and crayons and
Yeah.
color. Yeah.
I used to give her little like printouts when she'd come to the office. It was just like a diaper shape, and she'd color it and make designs. And she's like, when are you going to use it? And so as she's gotten older, and I've put Photoshop on her computer and Illustrator, and like, make me something that I can work with, and we will turn it into a print. So she's working on it.
Yeah, Madison keeps saying, Mom, when are you going to make my design into a diaper? And we're like, well, when are you going to make your
I'm
design?
like, when are you gonna give me a design?
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but she really does want to design some diapers, and she has said if we get the Harry Potter license, that all final designs need to go through her.
She actually is by far the biggest Harry Potter geek
Yeah.
in this household, so she would have a good say as far as like that doesn't make sense if
Yeah.
it was something from like theme of the movie or something like that.
It's
Hey,
funny.
Nicole.
There's another company that does Harry Potter, and every once in a while I get a text with some images that are like, "Hey, what does your daughter think of these?" And so I'll be like, "Hey, Madison." She's like, "Yep, nope. When can I buy that one?" So it's cute.
Cool.
Let's see. If you see any and I'm just scrolling, then. Oh, this one's kind of cute. Do your kids seem to have the same entrepreneurial spirit? I think in a way, almost all of them do. Quinny really sticks out in my mind because he is always trying to find a way to make money. He will paint and sell rocks. He will make a lemonade stand. He will like round things up around the house that he has outgrown or doesn't want. He wants to know how we can like list them on eBay. Like he wants to sell things and make money.
And I like to play games where you sell things.
Speaking of lemonade stand, when can we do that?
When the coronavirus isn't happening.
When we're not under quarantine.
Yep.
And it's a little warmer.
When is that?
A while.
Well, in a while. Yep.
Yeah.
If you didn't design, own, run, if you didn't CEO like a boss, a cloth diaper company, what would you do for a living instead, Julie?
Can it be like, is it realistic or what would like dream job be?
Yeah, I think dream job. Like, what would you do instead? Like, what would be your thing?
Oh,
Here's the Willow.
oh yeah, I thought maybe last night. Look at, she needs to be brushed.
I know, she's a little nappy.
Did you hear that correct?
Yeah, I did.
I don't know.
I do.
Go, really? What?
Mine?
Oh yeah, go. You go.
I'd be a drummer in a rock
Yeah,
band.
that's true. I could have answered for him.
Yeah.
Not in a rock band. I'd just be a drummer in a band, period.
He always has friends over.
I always have friends over to play music because I
Yeah,
do
Chad
play
has
the
play
drums.
games.
So I have saxophone player and a guitar, bass player that come over and we play some funk and some stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what I would do. My like if all this ended tomorrow and I could do anything I wanted.
You wouldn't want to like design for some like favorite company.
Well, I probably would. I mean, I don't
or-
necessarily really want to like have a job where I have to like be there 9 to 5 and like work for somebody else, but I would want to like design still and do what I want to do. So I'd start another company just like this.
Okay, good answer.
I would be
good
a-
answer. We're gonna go down from 10, Doug.
I'd be a storm chaser.
Oh
Gonna go out
gosh,
and
she's got
chase
the weirdest stuff that
tornadoes.
she likes to do. She'd be a storm chasing detective.
Oh gosh, I could be an internet detective.
Cyber
I would
detective.
probably go back to school for criminal justice and
Cyber
do crime
stalk
scene
people.
investigation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that was good.
I would do.
That was good.
Okay. What is your most memorable moment in Kanga Care history?
Ooh, that's a good one. So the
I
question
got
was,
one.
what
I want you to go first because
what was my most memorable moment in Kanga Care history? I want to know more about that question. Like, in what aspect? You know, because there's certain things in certain aspects that I think of that I'm like, it's not necessarily super Kanga Care related, but because of Kanga Care, I got to experience it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's good. That's cool though.
So, but then there's other things that's like straight up Kanga Care.
Then give two.
Okay.
Give your personal one and then give like a business one.
The business one, I would say most memorable moment of the business one. Oh, I think it was pretty awesome. Wow, that was a weird noise. I think it was pretty awesome when we had Simone in our booth from Tokidoki Drawing, and when we launched the Tokidoki collaboration.
That was really cool.
And that was probably cool. That was one of our biggest ABC.
So it was a
trade
B2B
shows.
event, but it
Yeah.
was crazy. We broke our floor.
Yes. Well, it was a spongy
It
floor.
was a
but-
foam floor, those ones they put in like, daycares and stuff that, they lock together like puzzle pieces.
Yep.
But there were so many people standing on it and like compressing it that the whole thing, like every single piece.
We had a
rolled and-
Kanga Care earthquake.
We did. After the
Boom.
next day, all the other exhibitors were walking by like, what happened in there? We were like moving furniture out and trying to put the floor back together.
We also had a bartender in the booth.
Yeah, that
A
was pretty
legitimate
cool.
one, not just me.
I know. And all the exhibitors around us were like, hey, haven't
Maybe-
talked to you the whole show, but how are you doing?
Maybe that's what we should do is just kind of dig up some old pictures from that trade show and we could post them in the chat group. Just be like, hey, here's for anybody who's curious.
Yeah.
Here's a
What
little.
shows used to look like.
here's a little
used
what
to
it
look like-
was.
They don't look like that
Yeah.
anymore.
Okay, so that was that. My other one, as far as most memorable Kanga Care related, but not necessarily like business. So when we were in China,
Not
we-
jealous.
were you thinking of this story?
What? China.
Yeah, well, there's two, but I'll think of one
I
specifically.
figured you were going to go to China with one of them. I
Yep.
don't know your story.
So we took an airplane from.
Oh, God, I know your story.
Yeah, so we took an airplane from, where was it, Beijing?
It was Beijing to Qingdao.
Beijing to Qingdao.
Oh, gosh. Lily's going to replace me now.
Yeah, and so it was, I don't know, it wasn't that long, hour and a half, 2 hours?
Yeah, no, it's a short flight.
Short flight to Qingdao. And so you get on the airplane, everybody just like goes to sleep.
Oh, yeah, everybody. And some of them put like bags over their heads. It was like,
Not bags over their heads.
No,
There's
it
bags
was
over
like-
anybody's heads, but
no, there was like, it was like almost like a front hoodie.
maybe. I don't remember that, but whatever, we'll move on. Everybody was out cold. We're, just listening to music, talking, and all of a sudden the airplane, I mean, did you start to nod off too, maybe?
No, I don't
No?
think so.
So all of a sudden the airplane starts to just like bank like a fighter jet. Like it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, brrr, brrr, and like you're
Like
looking
no flight I've ever been on.
looking down at the neighbors across the aisle from you
Yeah.
at one moment, and then the next you're
Through the
looking
window to the
up
ground.
at them, and it was scary. A very scary moment.
I mean,
I've never been
turbulence.
on any airplane that has ever flown like it's a fighter jet when it's a passenger jet. And we were really confused as to what the hell was going on. And finally I looked at the window and there was these kind of cloud clumps. And they're black and there's lightning going. So this pilot was literally like dodging clouds
Yeah.
to avoid this storm, as if like go get in your car, have your kids set up cones in the street and drive around and dodge the cones. I mean, that's what it was basically, with the exception of being in an airplane. Mind you, not a soul on the airplane woke up.
Except for us.
While
we're the
Julie
only
and Chad are
ones.
white-knuckled praying that this plane makes it to the ground safely again, because we're freaked out. Again, not a soul woke up. Turbulence and that banking, like.
And when he came in to land, it was almost like he came in and just went like straight down and then like leveled out right before hitting the runway.
This was a skilled
Crazy.
pilot that apparently has done this many a time, and apparently this is maybe a little bit more, happens more often
It
than we
seems
knew
to
about
be a
it.
pretty regular occurrence going from Beijing to Qingdao, the way everybody was like
Choppy
taking a
flights.
nap.
Yeah, so that's memorable. There's another one I won't tell it though, but that's memorable for me.
Y'all almost died. I thought. I
Yeah,
was like, we're
no.
never gonna see our kids again.
I like when I think in my mind, what's the worst airplane ride I've ever been on? Bam, that one.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Yep.
For sure.
All right, so what are your most memorable moments in Kanga Care history, Julie Ekstrom?
So my business one is when we got the patent.
Yeah.
So that was a really long process. We started that process in 2007, and we did not get the patent
She's already
until,
been in the live multiple.
man, I should know this date. It was, I think, April of 2012.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think it was 2012. 12 or 13. Either way, most patents don't usually take that long. It was a process. Lots of kind of diving in. I don't know if anybody knows the process of getting a patent, but you have to do a lot of prior art.
What's prior art?
They have to go and look at anything else that's on the market, anything that anybody can dig up. Your patent gets published, or your provisional patent gets published for a year, basically, so anybody that's out there can say like, oh wait, you're trying to get a patent on that? Well, I already made this, and so.
Rebecca has a great question, Julie.
What's that?
What are the patents for that you hold?
So at this point, we have 4 patents, and they all are regarding the inner gussets. So the inner gussets, the way that they used to be made, the way that they're currently made, any revisions to it. So basically the way that our inner gussets are designed right now, the inner material, it's, got the gathered fabric with the elastic in there. Some of the other patterns that I had submitted to them was basically, it's a piece of elastic that just goes all the way around. So it's like a 360. There's the original way that the inner gussets used to be made. It was a separate piece. It was like, it almost looked like a little canoe, and then the elastic was around the top, and then that curved part of the canoe got sewn into the diaper. So the patents basically cover soup to nuts everything that you could do inside a cloth diaper to create an intergusset. The diaper can be a pocket. It doesn't have to be a pocket. It doesn't have to be waterproof. It could be a fitted, which is also why you find the intergussets on the little Joeys and the EcoPosh. It doesn't have anything to do with the materials that the diaper is made out of. So it could be made out of rubber, and it's, you know, it basically covers the use and function, multiple variations of the design.
In a lot of
So-
legal jargon.
And a lot of legal jargon. So.
Yep. Happy birthday to Rebecca. Your son is 9 today. Happy birthday to your
Aw,
son.
Happy birthday. We've
Um,
got lots of birthdays going on.
yeah.
That's
Kanga
awesome.
Care. Autumn's birthday is
New
soon.
babies.
Kanga Care's birthday is actually in a couple of days. But how about? Did you ever imagine how incredibly popular your brand would become?
Not in my wildest dreams. Sometimes I
Nope.
feel like I still quite don't grasp
The reach.
where we're at, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, so I worked a corporate job for over half the life of our company because
Yeah.
I've only been full time at the company. You know, we've relied off of the company 100% for the last 5 years now. 5 years because
Yeah.
I worked my corporate job even though we had a staff and we had a team.
Kind of did all the finances and the books and stuff, but you do it at night
Right.
and cut fabric. Well, that was in the very beginning.
Yeah. True. So yeah.
Yeah.
So funny, quick story too. If go out and watch on YouTube the birth of Rumperoos, or the picture Amy used, I think in the chat group of Julie sewing with Autumn on her lap.
Oh yeah.
I took that picture as kind of a joke and tongue in cheek, and I said, "Here, Julie, I've got to take a picture of you sewing, so someday when you're famous, we'll have this picture." So, I mean, it was more tongue in cheek, no expectations of anything like that. We were just a young couple with 2 kids trying to make ends meet, and that spawned into, you know, necessity equals or need equals necessity, and
Yeah.
it just really opened up a whole kind of
Well,
Pandora's box. To
And we've
the
always
world.
been really small, you know, and so we've never been to a point where it's like, oh, we have this company, we have all these, you know, employees that run it and manage it. Like, we're there every day, you know, like there really couldn't be a point in time where we stepped away
Ajay.
for too long. Like, our whole staff, we each depend on everybody, and it takes everybody.
Yep.
And I think because of that, and because we're so small,
Small
it
but
really
mighty.
just feels like it doesn't feel as big as it is, you know?
Yep.
It's actually funny because something that sticks in my mind is, so Madison is our oldest. She's 16, and her boyfriend lives in Ohio. And one of the first times, maybe the second time, we had met him, and I can't remember if he was here. And Madison and I also went to visit them for her spring break one year. He was like, "You are kind of all over the internet." And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, "There's articles about you," and he's like, "You're kind of famous." And like, I am not famous. And are you Googling me or? And so
You feared you met your Google match.
I know. And so he and Madison had this whole conversation about, like, you know, what do your parents do and what is Kanga Care? And so, but it was funny because having this conversation with this, you know, I think he was probably 15 at the time, and he was like, "You're everywhere."
Here's
Like,
a good question.
maybe I should Google myself because I don't really do that. I don't know that I recommend it, but
Yeah. Oh, it just moved on me. What do you think
oh, mine went to
will be the aha moment of we made it? Is there one? What is your next big goal? Good question.
Oh, you're over here. I'm like, where are
I'm reading
you?
a question in the chat from Stephanie Glover. Thank you, Stephanie. Good question. So, what do you think? What do you think will be the aha moment of we made it? And is there one?
I feel like I mean, I guess in a couple different aspects. So the baby industry is actually really small.
And it's changed a
And-
boatload since we
yeah.
got into it.
So when you guys think about baby brands that are, kind of mainstream baby brands, at least when Madison was a baby, before we got into the industry, we got exposed to more of the, like the higher end, but like small business companies. I always thought of like Graco and like Fisher Price and Munchkin and all these like giant,
Bjorn.
yeah. And so after we got into the baby industry and we started doing all
We're
these shows like ABC, you all of a sudden you meet these people who run these companies, and you kind of become friends with these corporate level companies, all the way down to some of the really good industry friends that we have made that have become just more than industry friends. Like they are just our friends and our family now. Like Jujubee and a lot of the different carrier companies, we became really good friends with the people from Tula, and even some smaller ones like Anya Baby. Chad's really good friends with Billy, who owns Anya Baby. Boba used to be in Boulder here, and Robert and I became really good friends. And so what you start to learn is that the industry is just really, really small. And I feel like, and this has kind of gone in a few steps, but the first time I remember feeling like, Kanga Care is a legitimate brand, and like we have respect in this community, and other companies recognize us as, an actual brand, is when we started getting invited to be part of different collaborations, different networking events, things that were sometimes pretty exclusive that, you had to kind of, you had to know your stuff. There was a few B2B events that we were invited into from Ergo, and that was, I feel like, it was like, oh, like it was called the MBC. It was like, we are part of the MBC now.
Modern Brand
Collective. So I think there's been a few steps along the way. We had, a few years where it was just like, the whole industry as a whole, baby and cloth diapers, where there's growing hand over fist, and, at that moment too. So that was like back in 2015. I was like, this is crazy. Like we have like a full-blown brand. We've had, global presence since about 2010. So 2009 was a big year for us to focus on international. And by 2010 to 2012, we were pretty much worldwide. I mean, there's a lot of countries, but we were in like over 60 countries. So I think that global expansion was a kind of another, like, we are really doing this. So yeah, what would you say?
Yep.
Welcome back.
Yep. What's your favorite design so far?
Mine?
Yeah.
Man, that one's really hard. That doesn't exist yet. Autumn's throwing me names from those sidelines.
Your favorite print
My favorite
so far?
print so far. I'm gonna go with Lily, because I can't pick one of the Alice.
Solid answer.
Yeah.
You can't pick one of the Alice ones?
No,
Why?
it changes like daily.
Oh, okay.
Every time I see it. I was making her bed the other day, and I'm like, Queen of Hearts, it's my favorite. Because she's got the blanket up there. I'm like, this is a really good one.
Favorite print, I would have to say, I really love Cheshire.
Yeah,
I really do.
that is a good one.
Someone was asking about free shipping. You never know.
We've done all
Yep.
kinds of different stuff over the years.
And we haven't said anything about this now that we're, I don't know, almost 2 hours into this thing. It's our birthday coming up. So there's going to be a birthday sale. So be on the lookout for that soon. To help celebrate our birthday, we're giving back to you. So there'll be some sale items and some things. Freebies or samples with orders. Yeah, sometimes you can get some samples of some CJs. It has to be an order of over $100 usually, so that's something to be on the lookout for. That was just some questions we're getting in the chat group.
My ice went down enough I can finally screw my lid on.
Well,
How good are you at keeping secrets?
How good are you at keeping secrets? Is that even a question?
This is online's easier than in person, but still, you're so good at letting just enough slip through to drive us nuts.
Stacy, the Carrywell bras will be on super sale soon. Just
Oh, yeah.
saying.
Come here. You just
Secrets.
smack your head.
Secrets.
Come here.
Secrets are fun to keep. Julie likes to get a little boozy roozy and start dropping
Sometimes I
hints.
just get bored.
Yeah.
I'm
Sometimes
like,
we
is
get
anybody up?
Yeah, you know when we're really quiet, we're really busy. It's not that we're not
Yeah.
here and we're not like
Like this
around.
week, the last like month has kind of been crazy because this week is like week 2 of homeschooling, but last week was
why did you go that way?
spring
Jeez.
break. Because she's trying to not walk behind the camera. I know what she's thinking.
Okay.
And then the week before that was first week of homeschool, which was just like being thrown into I don't even know how to explain it. At least this week I kind of had a little bit of an idea where we were going to be going. But it's been really, really, really busy. And I always try and catch up at least at night. When I'm putting the boys to bed, I'll lay down with Quinny,
faces?
Quentin, Sebastian are in bunk beds, and we'll just talk about their day, and they ask lots of crazy questions and things that they saw on the internet that they think are real, and so we discuss those things. And I try and go through the chat group, and I'm like, I wake up, or he'll wake me up, he'll be like, I'm like laying there with the phone on my chest, I'm like, oh, it didn't make it very far. Here, will you
Can
hop up for a
you
minute?
hop down for a
I want
second?
Autumn to say hi.
We're gonna introduce Autumn. She is the reason
go
this
that
whole
way. Go
company
to Dad's
started.
lap.
I like to say to Autumn, it's because of your butt.
You gonna sit on my lap? No.
Oh, probably don't want to do that.
Here, come here.
Hey, just slide down and say
Here,
hi.
come sit on. This chair doesn't have tape. A lot of the chairs have tape.
The chairs have tape to keep the cats off of them, so.
Here, I'll scoot over. I don't Come over here and say hi. Oh my gosh. Here's our baby.
Oh gosh, so you're not even. That's even more awkward if you don't look at the camera. Sit in the background and stare out the window. That's
Right.
not weird. Jeez, and she's 13.
Yeah.
She knows all about
Almost
weird.
14.
Ooh, ring.
So this is Autumn. She'll be 14 on what day, Autumn? When do you turn 14?
In 2 days.
In 2 days. What date is that?
April 4th.
April 4th. And that happens to coincide with Kanga Care's birthday.
Look, you
'cause
can
of
hold your
her.
picture.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's a bad picture.
Look at, there's Autumn.
Oh, look, she's wearing Jill. Can you see?
That was Jill.
Yep.
Everybody saying hi, Autumn. Wave, Autumn.
This was our very first official photo shoot that Laura also did. Now Laura's in Kansas.
Right.
Makes it difficult.
All right, should we take like 1 or 2 more and then let these fine folk onto their way since
Probably. We're
we've
at
been
2
rounding the
hours.
bend here almost to 2 hours. So.
I feel like that happens when we take over.
Right.
Oh, then let me get something.
Well, that's
Okay.
because we're trying to like jam 9 million things
I know.
into
It's got
usually
soft in the mouth.
45-minute
That's what's
live. Thanks for hanging out with us, you guys.
I know. How did we? Oh, we still have quite a few people.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, now the
let me
kids are
get
gonna
back on
go.
your lap.
Memorable.
Okay. Lily wants to show you something.
Oh. We've got a pile of like stuff here that needs to get hung.
It shows it, yeah.
Yep, they can see it.
Let's put it on.
Who's on there?
Who's it?
It's Elsa and Anna and Ola.
Elsa and Anna and Ola.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yeah.
Yeah, Elsa has power.
Naj said that Autumn is the teenage version of Lily.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is so true. Lily is like a mini me of Autumn.
Yep.
100%.
All right, you want to go put that back down, please?
Mini
Thank you. All right. Maybe you choose one of the last ones and we'll.
All right. Oh, here's a good one. I'll tell you guys.
Oh, that's a secret.
I won't tell you guys.
Oh, no, it's your secret. So if you
I'll
want to
tell
tell it, tell it. Wow.
Okay.
That's my
So-
ring. Can I have it back?
The clock's on the Wonderland collection. I think some people have figured it out, so this probably isn't going to be like a big surprise for everyone. See if I can remember now. So the diapers came out in order, of White Rabbit, Cheshire, Hatter, Queen of Hearts, and then Alice. So the clocks on them are in order of our children and what order they were born in. So Madison, Autumn, Sebastian, Quentin, Lily. So the clock on White Rabbit is the time that Madison was born at.
Lily.
No. Madison's has several. Her birth date, so 9/27, is on White Rabbit, as well as the time that she was born, the time I was born. Oh gosh, or my birth date. I can't remember which.
Don't look at me. You're the one. You're the
I have to
mastermind.
pull it up. And then the snap is Chad's birthday. Now, on Cheshire, the clock is Autumn's birthday, 4/4. The clock on Hatter is 3/25, which is Sebastian. The clock on Queen of Hearts is Quentin, which is 9/08. And then the clock on Alice is Lily's birthday, which is November 11/29, which is also the date that it launched on. So it launched on Lily's birthday and is also the date on the clock. So there you go.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, kitty, kitty, kitty,
I
kitty.
know. Is it?
All right.
All right, we're
Let me
almost
show
at
them.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Show them.
What? They've seen Willow. She's
I
been
know.
in here. Go
She's-
between us.
Well, hey, Lily. Willow's been in and out of this live
No.
just as much as you have.
Let me get free here.
All right, Lily is going to show you
I
Willow
know.
one last time so that we can sign off with a, wow, she looks like she's almost asleep.
I know.
A sleeping kitty.
Willow goes into a comatose state when Lily has her.
Lily is the cat whisperer of sorts.
Yeah.
All right.
Willow's little. Willow's like half the size of Simon. Simon's like a lion.
So, thank you for tuning in.
Yes. Thank you,
Be on the
guys.
lookout for some birthday fun this weekend. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay in.
Stay away from everybody. Wash your hands.
Lock your doors.
I mean, just be healthy.
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves. Continue to, if you're not in our chat group, please join our chat group on Facebook, King Camera Brews Chat. Go like our YouTube channel. Go subscribe. I feel like I watch that crap my kids watch all the time, and here let's say it.
Take a like, subscribe,
Yeah.
and
Do all that
share
stuff.
No, hit the bell.
Oh yeah, here you know. Okay.
Yeah, hit the bell for notifications. Man,
Yeah.
how our kids do it. Anyhow, the chat group is a great place, and thank you all. Most of you all are already in there for being a part of our family. We really, truly appreciate it, and we do mean it when we say you're a part of our family.
100%.
So thank you all for tuning in, and with that, should we make it a wrap?
Yep.
All right, we'll make it a wrap.
All right, guys.
Have a great rest of your Thursday. See you later.
Yes. Bye guys.
Thank you, thank you.
See you soon.
See you soon.
All right. Now you got to hit the thing on both of them. The X in the corner.